What's up, guys? It's Kat and Deb from Two Market Girls. Welcome to Whatever Wednesday, and today we're gonna do a typical grocery haul. Now, it's not as fun as some of our other hauls because we can't take you along to the grocery store, and we also can't go with each other. But we can still share all the staple items that we typically tend to buy and some of the treats we get every week.
Yeah. Now, is your grocery haul, is it pretty typical each week you get very similar things?
Yeah, I think, there's definitely a lot of repeat items.
Got it. Mine has actually been, I've noticed over the last few weeks, it's actually been a little different every week. So this might not be 100% typical, but it's typical for now.
That's okay, that still counts.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna divide it up kind of into categories, right? To organize it. So do you wanna start with produce?
Produce sounds good. Yeah, I actually didn't get a lot of produce this time. For a vegan, I got very little produce.
Lots of vegetables.
Huh?
We're vegan.
I know. For a vegan, I actually got very little produce, but I also had a lot of produce still in the fridge. Like I have potatoes here, I have carrots already here, all that kind of stuff. So what kind of stuff did you get this week for produce?
Well, for vegetables, I'll start with those.
Yeah.
Usually every week I'm getting like some peppers and some kind of tomato. This week I got cherry tomatoes and one big tomato. And then depending on what's running low, like cucumber and lettuce, kind of like staple salad stuff. And then I usually try to get some mushrooms, and this week they actually had shiitakes, so I got some shiitake mushrooms. Oh,
fancy mushrooms.
Right? Maybe that counts as like a little splurge, but. And then for fruit, I almost always, because bananas are very popular in my house, so I buy a lot of bananas every week because I do the shopping for 5 people. But then also like it's summertime, so we got either peaches or nectarines. These ones are nectarines.
Yeah. So my produce, I got tomatoes like Devin. I got cherry tomatoes and vine tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes are almost always on the list because they're delicious. I also got zucchini. Zucchini is not normally on my list, but I'm pretty sure I bought this for a recipe. I don't remember what recipe. I wrote down a plan for this week. And this week's a little different actually. This grocery haul is bigger than it normally is because I've been ordering a lot of like meal kits, but next week I don't have, this week I didn't have a meal kit coming, so this is actually like a food haul. So I got zucchini, I got green onions because all of the onions that I grew are dying, so I had to buy new ones. I got that. Oh, and also I got peaches like Devin because Ontario peaches are in season. And I've been having this a lot with like yogurt and chocolate for breakfast. Oh, I got mushrooms as well because mushrooms are always on the list. But I didn't get a lot of vegetables this time because I also have like potatoes here and carrots here and half an eggplant still in the fridge. So like I had a lot of veggies still here. Oh, I got broccoli, I just didn't pull it out. I also got broccoli.
I will say, like, usually every week I feel like lately I've been buying a zucchini because also it's a great vegetable to be grilling. And this is the one week it wasn't on the list, but cauliflower and broccoli are also popular.
Yes. Yeah, I had cauliflower wings yesterday. So good.
Okay, what do you want to do next?
Do you want to do proteins?
Sure.
Because that's kind of in the produce section when you're shopping as a vegan, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the store. Honestly, they split up some of the brands.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so I got 2 quote-unquote proteins this week. I got another can of chickpeas because the Panda Express chickpea teriyaki recipe that we make in our sweet potato soul cookbook review, I'm kind of obsessed with. So I bought more. And I also made brownies with aquafaba the other day, so, that's a win. And then every week I get at least 1 block of extra firm tofu. At least 1, depending on if there is any.
Yeah, I went crazy on protein this week. Like actually a lot. So I got, first of all, some like treat protein things. I don't even know if this counts as protein because I don't look at the nutritional information on this, but like the King's bacon. I count it as a protein because it's bacon substitute.
It's meat.
I also bought Gardein beefless tips, which we haven't used in a while, but I want to make like a beef and broccoli type dinner this week. So we got those as kind of like an extra protein treat. But I also got these, I'm trying these textured vegetable protein, TVP chunks, just because I want to like shake up my protein intake a little bit. Like I know it's soy, it's not different than tofu, but it's a different texture, and I want to try something a little different. Speaking of tofu, 3 things of firm tofu. Yeah, I don't know. I just like, I stocked up this week, and if I don't use it all, I'll just put 1 in the freezer or 2 in the freezer. So I stocked up this week. I also got a silken tofu. So I have 4 things of tofu in my fridge right now. It's a lot, I know, especially for only 2 people, but it's just kind of how my week went. I wanted a lot of tofu. And then I also got falafels.
But also, like, tofu has been hard to find some weeks, so I tend to buy at least 2 just in case it's not there the next week, so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I'll go to get it, and then Hutch is like, oh, it wasn't there this week. And I was like, what? So when he goes the next week, I get him to get, like, all of it, so.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I was trying to, like, I've been eating a lot of tofu, clearly, but I wanted to, like, shake things up, so I also got falafels and that other protein stuff. But yeah, that's, like, typical for me is probably just tofu, but I got like 6 other things too.
Yeah. I think the only other typical thing for me that I didn't get this week would be some other kind of like mock meat. So if Beyond Meat is on sale, or like a smoky tempeh is between those 2, whichever one is in stock or on sale.
Yeah, tempeh was on my list, but it was not in stock, so. Because I didn't have enough protein this week. Oh, I also got a can of chickpeas, which I didn't pull out. So more protein.
So many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Do you want to do like your non-dairy dairy?
Sure. I buy my milk from Costco. So usually I buy it like a big pack of it, and I don't buy it for like a few weeks after that. So I didn't buy it this week, but I normally just buy their sweetened soy milk. I also occasionally buy unsweetened soy milk from the regular grocery store because I prefer unsweetened sometimes. So, but I didn't buy that this week again because I have one. The only dairy thing that I bought this week was Hutch's hemp creamer from Elmhurst, because this is the only milk he likes in his tea. It's so expensive, but it's good, and it stops him from drinking dairy milk, so I'm willing to buy it.
Okay. Well, one of my items is the Coffee Mate coffee creamer. It's their almond, and I always buy the vanilla flavor because I just like, for any kind of coffee creamer, I will go for vanilla. But yeah, I've been buying this one lately just because I really like it. It is pretty sweet, I will say that. So you probably don't need to add more sugar to your coffee if you're adding this, but it's so good, so I buy it every week. And then I also pretty much always buy a block of the Daiya cheddar.
Yeah, I have that too somewhere. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
I have Daiya cheddar too.
And I think we both agree that buying the block is usually better than buying the pre-shredded stuff because it just tends to have a better texture, and like you always need to have cheese for mac and cheese. Exactly.
A one-pot mac and cheese, which is coming up. It's great to have on hand because one-pot mac and cheese is the easiest thing you'll ever make. Yeah, that covers all my dairy. I totally forgot about the cheese, but that covers my dairy. Do you want to just do,
Catherine,
did you get any like bread or anything this week?
First of all, never forget about the cheese, but yes, I did get some bread.
I did too. It's not my normal bread. So my parents have started going back to like the market, like St. Lawrence Market. So when they're there, I asked them to get me bread. So they got me some sourdough bread this week from St. Lawrence Market. Normally I just get the Silver Hills like frozen loaf, whatever the one is in the orange packaging. I don't remember what it's called. It's like multigrain something. Normally I get that and I keep it in my freezer. But whenever they do go to the market, I get them to get me bread because bread. That's the only like bread thing I bought this week though, which is very unlike me.
I have one thing, bagels, everything bagels. I tend to buy those, or only if we don't have any in stock, but I try to make sure there's always bagels in the house because they're such an easy thing to have in the morning or even for lunch. So everything bagels have been a staple. And then, there's like other bread and stuff, but we already had that.
Yeah, normally we have like bagels in the freezer, sliced bread in the freezer, burger buns in the freezer. My freezer is filled with frozen fruit, veggies, and bread.
Same.
What about, do you want to just do the regular aisle stuff, like condiments, things like that?
Yeah.
Canned goods? I was restocking Frank's Red Hot Buffalo.
Good.
Because I'm also planning to make a buffalo tofu Caesar salad this week. So I needed to restock. I also needed to restock on soy sauce. Obviously, this isn't an every week purchase because you can't go through that much soy sauce in a week. But needed to restock this week. I also bought black olives, not necessarily a normal purchase, but I'm testing a recipe, so I bought this. And also, it's olives. Why, like, you can never have too many olives. And then the last thing from the aisle, I think, was tahini, which is also not really a normal purchase for me. Like, I find sometimes I'll buy these like giant things of tahini and then they sit in my fridge forever because I don't eat tahini all the time. But we did a recipe for Two Market Girls, so now I have tahini, so I'm gonna eat a lot of tahini. Maybe I'll make like some sesame tahini cookies or something.
Oh.
Yeah. So I restocked on tahini after a long time, so it was kind of nice to have that flavor again though.
I've been buying some like instant oatmeal, and I buy the Super Grains one by Blue Menu. I don't actually know why. I mean, it has flaxseed, it has chia seed, and it has like a mix of other stuff, not just oatmeal. So I started buying it because this is the one that my mom also likes to eat, and so I've started liking it. So I buy this almost every week because I like having it for breakfast with some frozen blueberries and a little bit of maple syrup. Super easy, really good. And then Catherine has gotten me absolutely hooked on gnocchi, so I've been buying that every week.
Yeah, I have my like pasta stuff too. I didn't mention, I was gonna mention it after. But I also bought gnocchi this week.
Okay, the only other thing from the aisles then would be coconut milk. A can of coconut milk, yeah.
Yeah, so I bought gnocchi like Devin did as well. I bought 2 packs of it because it's easy to store and it's such an easy dinner. So I bought gnocchi, but I also bought rice noodles because I've been liking like peanut noodles lately with rice noodles, and it's so good. Oh, and this kind of counts as the aisle. I just forgot because I didn't get it from the grocery store. I got it also from St. Lawrence Market when my parents went. But olives. I got lots of olives because olives are important.
Oh, you got the good ones too.
Yeah, so my parents went to the market. I asked them to get me some olives. This isn't all for me. I have to divide them between myself and my parents, but olives. I always like whenever go to like a market where there's like those like olive bars type things. Also, I don't really know how it works now. I don't know if serve yourself olive bar is a thing anymore. But the olives there are always just so good. So I always get lots of olives. Okay, do you want to move on to frozen things? Do you have any frozen stuff?
No.
Okay, I have 2 frozen things. One is kind of a treat frozen thing. Okay, but I'll do the regular frozen thing. Pierogies. Devin, you will not see this on Devin's grocery list. But Hutch really, really likes pierogies, even though he doesn't like potatoes. It doesn't make sense. So we usually find like an accidentally vegan pierogi, and this is one from Sobeys, I think. It's potato and onion, and we got the bag of it because it's a really easy dinner. We like boil them and then put them in the air fryer so they get kind of crispy on the outside. So good.
Sure.
And then last thing was a treat frozen thing, but it counts as frozen. Barbecue buns from King's Vegetarian. These have been like our like snack of choice in quarantine. Like it's not really a snack, but like we spent a lot of money on barbecue steam buns from King's Vegetarian because they're so good, like so good. Okay, last thing is like the treats. Or did you have other things that I didn't get?
Nope, that's it. I'm ready to do the specialty items.
Specialty items. Devin, what are your specialty items?
Well, lately I've gotten hooked on this kombucha. It's Remedy, and they sell it in cans. So they sell this 4-pack, and it's like just under $8, which for kombucha that's pretty cheap. So I usually buy a case of it, and this is the raspberry lemonade, but the peach one is also really good. Right, Catherine, you can speak to their booch?
I also got booch. I think I've tried Remedy before and really didn't like it. I don't know which flavor it was, but then I got this cherry plum one, and it's so good. Like, I'm obsessed with it, so I bought more of it this week. I bought it in a bottle, though. I got 2 of them, one for me and one for Hutch in the cherry plum flavor. but you can buy cases of it on their website. So I would just, Devin, you can do that too. It's free shipping, I think.
Oh, and I will say, like, buying it in the case in the cans means that I don't have to store it in the fridge because we don't have enough space in the fridge to support my booch addiction. So that's why the cans are so key for me.
Yeah, I really like this remedy because, at least the cherry plum one, because it's 0 sugar. Like, they don't add any sugar to this, which is great because I don't love very sugary drinks. But it doesn't really taste like it's not sweet. Like, the cherry plum flavor actually has some sweetness to it naturally, so it's really good.
Okay, and my other treat, like, I usually get some kind of chip or popcorn, but this week they had my favorite one. This giant bag of movie popcorn that even, it says vegan on it. I think it's from Quebec. But yeah, when this is in stock, I always buy a big bag of popcorn.
That's great. Yeah, so same with me. I always buy like a chip or some sort of like snacky thing that's like not healthy. And I got Doritos. I was really craving sweet chili heat Doritos, so I bought sweet chili heat Doritos. And I think Hutch got another Dorito for himself that wasn't vegan, so these are delicious. And also, I think the ketchup Doritos are also vegan, so there's 2 different Doritos you can get.
Oh.
I would recommend the sweet chili heat Doritos, and that's coming from a ketchup chip lover. Okay, so that's like a typical kind of, at least a typical for right now grocery haul for both of us.
Yeah, typical for right now. Now, do you have any advice or tips for people who are putting together their grocery lists for the week? What do you usually do?
So I usually pre-plan like what I'm kind of thinking of making that week. Like, I'm really bad at planning my meals out because like I'll plan something for Thursday and then Thursday comes up and I don't want it anymore. So I like kind of get a rough idea. I'm like, okay, if I make some sort of stir fry on this day, or if I make something this day, and then I list out the things that I would need. And then I also, you can't forget the snack section. Like, I think people plan their meals, but you gotta plan your snacks too. So I always have a snack section. Usually on the grocery list, I'll like have everything listed, and then in big caps letters, it just says snacks. So I just tell Hutch to get whatever snacks. But yeah, I usually like plan out my shop with a list of things that, like, meals that I'm thinking of making this week, things that I need to restock on, and then go from there so that there's kind of a thing. I think winging it is just, that's when I spend too much money.
I mean, I think we kind of have the same process. We usually have like a running list where if something has run out before grocery day, you write it down right away. And then like the night before I go grocery shopping, you kind of go through to see like what needs to be restocked. And then me and my mom will like flip through cookbooks. I'm like, what are we gonna make this week? And just like same idea, planning the meals and deciding which meals we wanna have. And it also kind of goes with like the schedule of the week. So if somebody has a late call or an early call or something, you plan the meals so that they fit into that schedule. But other than that, it's mostly just deciding which recipes to make.
Yeah, normally too, like I'll decide on which recipes I'm gonna make, and then I add in a couple things like gnocchi. I didn't plan to make gnocchi this week, but I bought gnocchi this week anyways because I knew like sometimes I just like feel like something different, and gnocchi's very shelf stable, so if I don't use it this week, I can just use it the week later. So like in like rice noodles and things like that, like there's some things that I just add to it. I'm like, in case I don't feel like these things that I decided to make, I'll give myself some more options.
So in the comments, should we have everybody else share either like their top 5 typical grocery items or like tips for how they plan their grocery lists?
Yeah, that seems like a good discussion because we need help too.
Yeah, let's talk about grocery shopping. It used to be a lot more fun and now it's not, but hopefully we can get back to doing some fun hauls in the future.
Yes, no, I know. I miss like we didn't film a lot of hauls before, but like that like haul we did at Costco and like Superstore, like that was fun to film. I miss doing that.
Me too. But we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you ever have any questions about what kind of items or things that we're eating on a weekly basis, we do try to share that more on our Instagram stories. So you can go check that out and follow us there. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future vegan recipes every Sunday and whatever Wednesdays every other Wednesday. And that's a wrap?
That's it. Oh, I got wraps too. I loaded up on
Okay.
rats this week.
Okay.
Okay. Subscribe. Did we say that already? Bye.
Yes. This way?
Yeah.
This way.
Oh, bye. Oh, Devin, you're gonna hit people.
Oh.